Hello and welcome to another Spectrum Geeks video. My name is Dale, and if you've got an air conditioning unit that has a remote control but it's not quite smart enough for you, then maybe you might want to consider a Tado Smart AC Control unit. So you find me out in my wife's studio. She's got air conditioning. I'm a little bit jealous when we have our little hot sessions here in the UK, but if you've seen some of my older videos, in our house for many years now we've been using the Tado kind of smart control thermostats both in the rooms and on the radiators itself, and so I decided we would try out this. It's the Tado Smart AC Control unit to add some extra smartness to my wife's air conditioning unit. Now her air conditioning unit already does have an app for it, however only one person can ever use that app. So we thought we'd give this a try so we can integrate it into the rest of the Tado Smart Home that we have. So obviously I'm going to unbox it, show you how to set it up and kind of give you my thoughts on it. So a couple of things off the bat that is quite handy to know about this. You don't have to have any of the existing Tado setup to be able to use this. You don't need their bridge like you need with the other thermostats and controllers. This is all 100% using Wi-Fi. And basically it stores and memorizes the infrared controls from the remote, and it will basically beam these through the app, through this control unit to your air conditioning unit. So let's have a look at what we get in the box. So pretty straightforward. We have the Smart AC Control unit itself, a couple of manuals, and then a power plug adapter. This is USB powered, so it's 5 volts. And you get UK and European plugs in it. Unfortunately, like the Tado kind of wall thermostat that looks very similar to this, that is battery powered, you can't have any option to use batteries with this. It is the 5 volt power supply only. In terms of its dimensions, it is square, so 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, but then only 1.5 centimeters in terms of thickness, and very light, so just 250 grams. It does come with a couple of little stickers that you can use to mount it onto the wall and to the back. You can also get a smart trim plate, which I have got, which I'll do a little overlay to show you. I didn't realize at the time that it didn't have batteries. I should have got the other optional kind of stand slash bracket that it can sit in and just kind of sit on a shelf or a desk or something like that. The USB cable that comes with it though is pretty long, so 1850 millimeters, so hopefully you can reach a nearby socket with that. And as with other Tado products, it comes with a 2-year warranty. Just a little note though on the Wi-Fi, like lots of these smart home Wi-Fi products, it only works on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So most people are going to have that, but if you've kind of only got 5 gigahertz enabled, you will have to enable the 2.4 gigahertz option for your Wi-Fi. So let's get the app loaded, turn on this air conditioning unit, and then get things set up and see how it works. Hopefully it'll be pretty straightforward. Okay, so to get things set up, we need a few things. First of all, obviously you need air conditioning that is compatible. Now there is a list on the Tado website, but in general, if it has an infrared remote, your air conditioning system is going to be compatible with the Tado Smart AC Control unit. Obviously we need the Smart AC Control unit itself, and then we do need to connect up the plug so we have some power. So here in the UK, again, we use the 3-pin plug. So I'll just connect that up, just swivel it in and lock into place like so, and then again get the rather long USB lead, get that plugged in, and then plugged in to the back of the Smart AC Control unit. Then we can open up the app, do the pairing, and then use the remote control to learn it. So let me get those things plugged in, and then we'll bring up the app just on the side here so you can follow along. Okay, so once we plug the USB power lead in the back, it's at a slight angle, it's a little bit fiddly, and actually the wire doesn't run super flush in those channels, but it'll turn on, say Tado, and it will say hi, and then it'll be left up with a little number on the screen. So if we get the app open as well here, we can take you through the installation. So again, I've got various products on here already. Obviously, if you're using this for the first time, this won't be something that you'll be seeing. It'll be just kind of all blank. Okay, so if we go to settings, rooms and devices, and we go to add device, then we get the little pop-up with the camera, so we can then scan the QR code that's on the front. Let's wait for that to do its thing. Okay, then it's seeing that it's a smart AC control device. We say registered device. Plug the power in, which we've done already, and then we are going to connect this to our 2.4 gigahertz network. Presuming it wants us to scan the back of this now. Just here. There we go. Actually not sure I wanted to connect it to Apple Home, but it's doing something. Okay, so we can give it a name, Studio. And that's done. Now connect to server. Successfully connected. Not quite sure what how it's done connecting, because it didn't ask me what Wi-Fi network I was trying to connect to. Now hopefully it's doing a firmware update. It should be all set up. Okay, so now the app has updated the firmware on the device. Now it wants us to grab our remote control and point the AC towards a smart controller and follow the next step. So let's just do that. So waiting for signal, just wants us to press the power button. So there's a little beep there. And it's found their AC model straight away, which is really good. Finish installation. And now a little bit more updates to be doing as the air conditioning unit started to beep as well. And I did notice that this was detected on my Amazon Echo devices as well. So how easy was this install? I'm going to say 4 out of 5, because that HomeKit thing was a bit unexpected. So let's skip and close the feedback, and as we can see here, it's got our serial number, has a firmware. We can press blink display and it will just flash up high on there, and now we are pretty good on there. Anything else? So we can remove the device. If we go back into our home now, we should see Studio on here somewhere. Air conditioning down the bottom. So air conditioning currently reckons it's 20.6 here in this room. If we just tap on that. Now I do remember reading on the Tado websites, it can take a few minutes for the full feature settings to become available in the app. So we'll just move over just to the control unit for a minute and see if that's responding to the touch buttons as we think it should. Okay, so I'll just set this to 25. Just make sure it's, again, pointing in the control unit or the air conditioning unit area. You can see it's now adjusted itself to 25. And again, if we touch it again, we set it back down to 18 or something. Actually, it's back to 20, it'd be absolutely fine. And it's working absolutely perfectly. So we'll have a look again to see if the app has been updated. Initial thoughts are it does work very well in terms of the controlling and sending the signal to the app, but actually these kind of strange haptic touch piece. Not a massive fan of it. Takes a bit of technique somehow to get it to work. That's another option here, open window setting. So if it detects a breeze coming from open windows or open doors, it will turn this off temporarily until I think it's like 5 or 10 minutes till it detects no breeze. Now you may be wondering, why has that happened? Because I don't have any doors or windows open. The actual thermostat sensors are here on the side. So obviously as I'm talking, all the hot air or the wind is coming out of my mouth, which has triggered the open window detection piece there. So let's jump back into the app and see what's happening, and then we can kind of finish up with our final thoughts. Okay, so just opening and closing the app has kind of woken things up and made it start working. So as you can see, it's currently saying that the window open was detected. So we cancel that. As you can hear, the air conditioning unit is back on again. And you can see a bit of information now that we have a bit more access to the smart features, obviously, which is why we would have bought this, because you could use the remote control to do your other things. So you can see here, currently the temperature is set to cooling to 20 degrees until we cancel it. And we can also control the fan speed there. So we just press that button and we can see there's fan speed options. So we've got low, 2, 3, and auto. So that's really handy. We've got the options to adjust the swing, so off, on for the swing function, off or on in terms of the rotation as well, and off and on for this particular one, whether you want the light to be displayed as to what the air conditioning unit is doing. And again, cooling, dry, fan, heat, or auto as well, based on the temperature. So we'll leave it in auto, and again we can adjust the temperature up and down on the sliding scale. So we just set that back to 20, and again it's going to stay at 20 until we cancel anything. So that's working as expected. Also, as you can see, currently 21.5 in terms of what the internal temperature is based on the thermostat, and 61% humidity in here at the moment. So apps are working fine. And just for kind of statistics over time, we can see the little graph at the top, and over time it will kind of give us some trending on humidity and temperature as we go. There are some other features that you do have to pay extra for the app. We have this included already, and again this is basically proximity is not the right word, but when we leave the house, geofencing, that's it. As we leave the house, it will kind of heat up or cool down to preset temperatures, or turn off completely if we're a long way away. And as we start to come back, say from holiday or something, you can control this from there. But it's good that we have the options to be able to obviously turn things on and off and monitor those stats. So let's just finish up with my final thoughts on the Tado Smart AC Control Unit, and I will quickly show you that trim piece as well. Okay, so my final thoughts. I think it works in terms of how I'd like to use it really, really well. So in terms of making your air conditioning unit smart and integrating it into your Tado smart home kind of heating cooling setup, if you have one, or even just in isolation, it does work really well. Not a fan of actually controlling the air conditioning unit from this. It's still just too fiddly for me to kind of get this working consistently. If you've had better experience with it, please let me know down in the comments. Maybe there's a little knack to be able to use it. But again, in terms of making your air conditioning smart, that bit works really well. And actually that infrared bar, I've tried it in all different kind of positions, even when it's not pointing directly at it, and it does work really well. I am slightly disappointed that it isn't wireless at all. Obviously, I know it's got a Wi-Fi module in there, but I would have thought, you know, put 2 or 3 AAA batteries in there, we could have the 5 volts we needed, and I'd be happy to change it more often than have to worry about having to have this cable kind of connect all the time. These little nodules, I guess I call it, is to help you wrap the cable around and make things smart. And again, you've got the exit piece down the bottom here and another one at the top, and as mentioned in the box you get these little kind of sticky things so you can connect it up to the wall, but obviously you're going to have this cable dangling down depending on where you mount it. Maybe you can go hardcore and bury the cable in the wall. We won't be doing that. I did buy, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, the trim plate, and it is massive. Look at the size of that thing. So the idea with the trim plate, if I just disconnect the cable temporarily from here, is that you'd put the trim plate on the wall and then you could fit this on top of it. Again, if you were fitting that behind somewhere, you want to be able to hide the cables a little bit more, you could do that kind of through the back here and wrap things round. But I'm not going to use this, it's absolutely massive. So again, I'll put a little kind of screenshot. I think it's £25, which is a bit expensive for a mount, but my recommendation would be that you kind of just get the desk mount, or what it is, so you can just kind of pop it somewhere. Or if you do have the option that you can kind of put it next to a bookcase or something, just have it kind of sitting very discreetly like that. It'll probably look a lot better. So hope this video helped. Again, if you want to make your air conditioning smart, I do think this is good. But if you're looking to kind of be able to control it manually on the faceplate here, it's probably not going to be for you. So we'll see how we go over the coming months. Obviously, the other thing that happens with this is it is now integrated into our Amazon ecosystem. Set studio to 22.
The AC is set to 22.
Obviously, it also works with Google Home and other things as well, so that is another option that you get to control it with your voice, which again is a good reason not to press the down buttons on this thing. So hope it's helped. Please ask any questions, leave any feedback down below. Like this video and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. Also consider supporting the channel if you like the content on here by becoming a Spectrum Geeks YouTube member. Till the next video, take care of yourself. Goodbye for now.